Hey, you guys! I want to buy a fettuccine. I'm not the only one. Well, sorry, all I serve here is tongue. We're talking about the Goonies today on Grover Served. Hi, I'm Tanner Grover. Today we're taking a look back at a film that needs no introduction. It's the 1985 classic, The Goonies, presented by Steven Spielberg, directed by Richard Donner, and written by Christopher Columbus. Now, why look back? Well, Cyndi Lauper just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she sings the theme song to this movie. The Goonies are good enough for you, it's good enough for me, it's good enough. It's good enough to review. But before we get into all the details, if you could go ahead and smash that subscribe button, as if you're a chunk smashing something that you probably shouldn't. It might be a framed treasure map, it could be the penis off of a Michelangelo statue, or maybe a water bottle, and that water trail leads to the treasure of One-Eyed Willie. I'd really appreciate your support. And while you're at it, go ahead and click that little notification bell, so hopefully more of me shows up in your feed. A friendly reminder that Grover Served is not a spoiler-free show. Now, earlier this year, it was announced that Goonies 2 is officially in the works after decades of speculation. It's just the latest in a series of legacy sequels that seem to come out every 6 months or so. This coming winter, we're getting Gremlins 3. A year ago, we had Twisters, and a few years before that, we had that Top Gun sequel. Steven Spielberg was even quoted as saying how it saved theaters. And he's right. These movies do money. So I'm not surprised that Goonies 2 is finally getting green-lit. But I am a little concerned that it's just not going to capture lightning in a bottle the same way that this movie did. You could call the original Goonies Indiana Jones for kids, but I think that's underselling it to a degree. I don't think Indiana Jones resonates with kids and adults the same way that Goonies did. But let's get into it. The film begins with the prison break of Jake Fratelli, who hops into a car with his brother Francis and Mama Fratelli. As the opening credits roll, we get this kind of 80s montage where the cops are chasing them across the Boondocks region of Astoria, Oregon. As these hijinks ensue, we're also introduced to several of the Goonies. We've got Andy, the cheerleader, her friend Steph, we've got Mouth, then there's also Data, as well as Chunk. As the Fratellis make their escape, we transition over to the home of young Mikey Walsh and his older brother Bran. It's here where they've been served papers to hand to their parents regarding the foreclosure of their home, as the ever-expanding country club and the affluent folks that inhabit it threaten to take over the Boondocks. Mouth, Data, and Chunk all gather at Mikey's for one last hurrah, as they don't have many weekends left together. Up in Mikey's attic, they discover what appears to be a treasure map. The map appears to be the works of well-known local explorer Chester Copperpot, and it leads to the legendary pirate treasure of One-Eyed Willie. With nothing left to lose, the gang decides, hey, the X isn't that far off, let's follow it and see what happens. So what do? First, they tie up Mikey's older brother Bran, who's against the idea in the first place, and they follow the map, which leads them to an old abandoned restaurant. But when they get there, they find out that it's the hideout of the Fratelli family. Upon their first encounter, there's a bit of a cat and mouse game going on between the Goonies and the Fratellis, as neither party wants to blow their cover. The Goonies ask for a glass of water, and they're served this brown, mucky whatever it is. Mikey asks to use the bathroom. He goes downstairs, where he hears the voice of some kind of monster or something. The Goonies are chased out by the Fratellis, and the adventure seems all but over. Bran catches up with them, and he's flanked by Andy and Steph. They had an incident with Andy's boyfriend a little bit earlier. And now Mikey's really insistent that the group waited out for the Fratellis to go so they can go and inspect the restaurant a little more closely. In the basement of the restaurant, the gang discovers a tunnel. Then they also discover a dead body in the freezer before the Fratellis come back, and now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. The only way out is the tunnel, and everyone makes it down there except for Chunk, who's left behind to try to contact the cops. Unfortunately, he gets intercepted by the Fratellis. They threaten to tear up his hand in a blender if he doesn't let them know where his friends are. Finally, he lets the beans spill, and then they chain him up in the basement with that monstrous voice from before. It's the forgotten Fratelli brother, Sloth. He was dropped on his head as a baby once. Oh, well, maybe twice. But now, him and Chunk, they're both chained to the wall, and Chunk is completely freaked out. The Goonies navigate their way through an elaborate tunnel and cave system while the Fratellis are in pursuit. There's booby traps along the way. They encounter the skeleton of Chester Copperpot and realize how far they've come. I mean, if he can do it and they're already this far, they must be doing something right. Then they come across a wishing well. It's a red herring of sorts, as there's coins everywhere, and they think that that's the treasure of One-Eyed Willie. And then they actually have an opportunity to escape up a bucket held by Andy's ex-boyfriend, Troy. It's here where Mikey delivers one of my favorite speeches in cinematic history. It really does a great job of portraying the difference between adult aspirations and kid aspirations, and how with adults it's their time up there, above ground, but with the kids, it's their time down here. Meanwhile, Chunk befriends Sloth by offering him a baby Ruth out of his pocket. Sloth is so excited that he actually rips the shackles right off the wall. Chunk goes ahead, makes a phone call to the cops, and then him and Sloth, they head down the tunnel to try to save their friends. With the Fratellis hot in their trail, the Goonies stay just ahead of the criminals as Andy plays a bone piano, opening up a water slide. At the end of the slide, they finally discovered the ship of One-Eyed Willie, which is boarded with all the riches that they could ever want. The gang lines their pockets with gold and jewels, all the golden jewels except for the ones on the tray in front of One-Eyed Willie himself. Mikey insists on leaving those for him. However, the Fratellis finally catch up, take the gang hostage, and make them walk the plank. It's not until Chunk and Sloth show up that those two save the day. In the final scenes of the film, everyone emerges onto a nearby beach where the police are waiting per Chunk's phone call, as well as everyone's parents. The Fratellis are arrested, and they also attempt to arrest Sloth until the Goonies point out, no, he's the good guy, those are the bad guys. Mikey's really disappointed because he wasn't able to recover any of One-Eyed Willie's treasure. His parents console him, but then they discover that in Mikey's marble bag, he filled it with jewels. It's enough money to save his house and save the entire town. They take the foreclosure papers, rip them up, and toss them into the air like confetti. Everyone's celebrating, and then, holy Mary, Mother of God, look at that. It's One-Eyed Willie's pirate ship, sailing majestically into the middle of the ocean. Cue up Cyndi Lauper's The Goonies Are Good Enough one more time, and let the credits roll. Before I go ahead and rate this film, if you can remember to subscribe to the channel, especially if you like what you're seeing here, really appreciate your support. Alright, I've got to give the Goonies one glass of wine. There's just one scene I don't like. It's when they're first in the tunnel and they're banging on the pipes that are attached to the country club. The shower handles disappear into the wall, the water fountain goes up and down, and then Troy gets shot off the toilet, his head goes through the ceiling. I don't know, I found it all a little bit too campy and comical. Granted, I know this was a fantastical movie, dealing with pirate ships, monsters in the basement, treasure, booby traps, but that part just kind of took me out for a minute. Other than that, though, it's a classic. It resonates with generations of people for a reason. I mean, I don't think that we would have something as great as Stranger Things without the Goonies, but I'm really nervous for this Goonies 2 movie. But let me know what you think. Do you like the original Goonies? And what are your thoughts on the Goonies 2? Are you nervous like me? Or should I just relax and, take it for what it is? Let me know in the comments. Alright, thanks for tuning in to Grover Served.